From Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Root Sports brings you Houston Astros baseball. Today it's the finale of a homestand. The Astros go for a sweep of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Good afternoon. Welcome back to Interleague Play. Bill Brown and Alan Ashby. Julia Morales joining us soon as the Astros try to pull off this three-game sweep of the Dodgers, and they're 6-3 on an excellent homestand, Ash.
They are, and they're doing it with close games, late game victories, walk-offs, and all that sort of thing. So the offense hasn't been huge. Pitching has been really good.
It's been really rare that teams have won back-to-back games started by Zach Greinke and Clayton Kershaw.
Deadly combination for the Dodgers. And, of course, the Astros win last night. They get 3 hits, 2 of those home runs, and great pitching. Deadly combination once again, but this combination is tough to cut through. 13-3 for the Dodgers this year is Zach Greinke. Clayton Kershaw, 10-6, leads the National League in strikeouts. He has put together multiple strikeout or 200 strikeout seasons now for the Dodgers. This guy is a 3-time Cy Young winner. He's also been an MVP. Clayton Kershaw, probably as good as there has been in the game now over the last handful of years.
And the Astros welcome Lance McCullers back to their rotation. Lance rejoins the club today. The Astros had to make a roster move. Preston Tucker was optioned back to AAA Fresno, and that's difficult certainly for Preston Tucker, but for McCullers, a chance to resume an outstanding year.
Yeah, he's got off to a tremendous start as he now makes his 15th start of the year. But the last start that he made August 3rd against the Texas Rangers, a rough one, 1/3 of an inning, wasn't feeling good that day. Got sent back down not because of that start, but just to rest the arm. But this is an arm the Astros need down the stretch and hopefully into the postseason.
Coming up, hitting home, the American League's reigning hit king is up to his old tricks just when his team needs him the most. Julia has more on Altuve's impact when we return.
Homestand, Astros and Dodgers in Game 3 of this three-game set, and the Astros trying to sweep Jose Altuve will lead things off for the Astros as he usually does, getting comfortable at the plate, which is a very dangerous thing as the Astros play about as well as Jose Altuve does at times during the season. And that's right now. He's our TXU Energy Power Player of the Game. Check out his numbers on this homestand. He has hits in 8 out of the 9 games on this particular homestand. You see the numbers: 400 he's hitting, 965 OPS. Yesterday in this game, he's got his first triple. You're watching it right there, first triple of the year, and then a home run, his 10th home run of the season. That's a career high for him. He's a fan favorite. Of course, the fans in Houston love watching him play here at Minute Maid Park. And when you look at the numbers for him playing at home, they've continued to get better throughout his career, going back to 2011. Not too many games, not a very small sample back then, but look at the numbers as they improve every single year. Of course, last year in 2014 had the magical season, the batting champ there. 331 is what he's hitting right here in his home ballpark. And he'll be facing Clayton Kershaw today, a left-hander, which he happens to be very comfortable against there too, hitting 370 against left-handed pitching this year. That's the second in the majors right now. And like AJ Hinch said last night, when he's comfortable, when he's seen pitches well, he's a lot of fun to watch, and the Astros enjoying that right now as they close out this homestand against Kershaw and the Dodgers. It's been a dramatic homestand filled with big moments, and it's coming to a close. Can the Astros do it one more time? We'll have lineups and first pitch straight ahead.
Starting pitcher to the All-Star game in over a decade. And our first Astro into the Hall of Fame. It's a new day in Houston, Texas. A chance to appreciate the moments we've witnessed and anticipate the ones to come. Enjoy the moment, Astros fans. You never know what might happen next. It's been quite a week here. One of the best weeks in recent memory during a regular season, and in fact a long homestand for the Astros, filling your minds with those memories. The Dodgers now a first place club, barely by 1/2 game in the NOS, 67-55. Playing the Astros, the Toyota drive to the playoffs will bring you up to date on what has happened in the last month. In the American League West, July 22nd, a month ago, the Angels had a 2-game lead over the Astros. They were up by 9 on the Rangers. What a dramatic change has been brought about in the last month. Now it's the Astros 4 ahead of the Rangers, who have moved into second, and the Angels have dropped 4.5 games back.
Brownie, I never would have imagined at the start of this year, minus Yu Darvish, that the Texas Rangers would be anywhere near this position. But there they are, and the Astros just have to keep on winning.
Lance McCullers is back in the rotation. Here's the lineup for the Dodgers facing Lance today. The veteran shortstop, Jimmy Rollins, leads it off, followed by Chase Utley, his former double play mate with the Phillies, at second base. Justin Turner bats third and plays third base. The cleanup man is first baseman Adrian Gonzalez. With Andre Ethier in left field, Yasiel Puig in right, Carl Crawford the DH, A.J. Ellis the catcher, and Kike Hernandez in center field with Clayton Kershaw on the mound.
And we saw Lance McCullers back on the mound for the Astros. The last time he was there in a Houston uniform, August 3rd, got roughed up and sent back to the minor leagues just to rest the arm, get ready for September, and hopefully a playoff season for the Astros. Overall, 14 starts, 5-4. Very nice ERA despite that one rough game, 3.17. And that 226 opponent's batting average against. All those numbers skewed because of that one last start against the Rangers.
He's been at AA Corpus Christi in the minor leagues. His last outing there, and his only outing in a game, was Tuesday against the Arkansas Travelers. 3 innings of 1-hit shutout ball. Jimmy Rollins steps up to lead it off. Rollins had 2 hits yesterday. The Astros beat the Dodgers 3-1 in that game. Goes for the first pitch. It's knocked down by Chris Carter at first base. 1 pitch, 1 out for McCullers.
Let's check out the defense behind Lance McCullers. Marwin Gonzalez, the start at left field. Carlos Gomez in center. Jake Marisnick in right. Left side of the infield, Jed Lowry and Carlos Correa on the right. Jose Altuve and Chris Carter. Jason Castro once again behind the plate.
Chase Utley steps up. Utley, one of the glittering middle infielders of his era, now 36 years old. Has a .214 average. Missed about 6 weeks with a sprained ankle. Utley takes, and it's ball 1, but had been healthy before the trade brought him to the Dodgers. Utley with 5 homers, 30 runs batted in. Joining this Dodger club, and his first game was Friday night. He was 0 for 4 in that one. He had a double in yesterday's game, going 1 for 4. That one is fouled away, 1-1. In fact, it was a key moment of the game at the time, the 5th inning, and the Astros had a 2-0 lead. Utley hit a ball that hopped over the right field wall with 1 out, and he went to third base, but upon review it was discovered that the ball hit the base of the foul pole and was out of play, so he had a double, and he later did not score. If he had made it to third, he could have scored on the sacrifice fly. It would have been by Kike Hernandez, the next batter. So for Don Mattingly, the breaks have not all been going his way, and his club trying to regroup. An 0-4 road trip underway. There's a liner headed for the left field corner. That ball slicing, and it's fair into the corner. Marwin Gonzalez playing it Utley into second, and that's a double. His 14th of the year.
A look at our strike zone presented by MD Anderson. Watch this pitch up and away, the fastball. And it's an ideal stroke that Chase Utley employs to be able to hammer one on a line like this down the left field side. Just stays on top beautifully so, much like a Prince fielder, and just does keep it fair, maybe right off that yellow line.
Utley aboard with his 14th double for Justin Turner. Turner fouls one. There's strike one of the number 3 hitter for the Dodgers, who's really being relied on to drive in runs in these situations. Getting in front of Adrian Gonzalez. Turner has driven in 48 with a .307 batting average and 14 bombs. And Turner has a .534 slugging percentage. He is 1 for 7 with an RBI in this series. He's driven in the only Dodger run of the series so far. No balls, 2 strikes. They were no hit Friday night by Mike Fiers. And they struck out 10 times. They collected 7 hits yesterday, out hitting the Astros 7-3 last night, but losing 3-1. Dodgers are 6th in runs scored in the National League. They'll be going on to Cincinnati for their next series. This one gets away from Jason Castro. Utley to third base, taking a turn there. And on a wild pitch, Utley advancing on ball 1.
I don't know what happened here with Jason. He called the breaking ball, got the breaking ball in the dirt, and stayed up and simply tried to backhand. And that's not the way you do it. Let's take a look now at our Supremo presented by Mattress Firm. There's the breaking ball coming. And yeah, that's not what Jason has been giving us.
Now the infield comes in. Castro catching the day game after a night game. He's catching all 3 games in this series. Hank Conger will start tomorrow night at Yankee Stadium. That's driven out to left center field. Utley will tag. Carlos Gomez in for the catch. The long throw to the plate. Utley coming. The throw is there. Castro with a tag. Safe. 1-0 Dodgers. Outstanding throw by Gomez, but Turner gets a sacrifice fly.
Yeah, that was a heck of a throw by Carlos Gomez, and the best we've seen from him to this date. But that wild pitch factors in the inning as the Dodgers take the early lead. You can see this is right at that borderline depth, but with 1 out already, everybody's going to send here. And you take your chance, and this throw made it a very close chance for LA. Jason Castro hung right in there.
Adrian Gonzalez steps up with the Dodgers having gained their first lead of the series. There's strike 1 to Gonzalez. He has 24 homers, 73 runs batted in to go with a .289 batting average. Ranking in the top 10 in homers and runs batted in the National League. Infield plays him to pull. It's in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Bill Welke, the umpire at third base, making that call on the check swing. Gonzalez had a couple of hits last night. He's 2 for 7 in this series. In the air, and the left fielder moves in for it. Marwin Gonzalez. It's 1 run, 1 hit, nobody left. Clayton Kershaw takes the mound with a 1-0 lead. Jose Altuve, second base. Carlos Gomez, center field. Carlos Correa, shortstop. Jed Lowry, third base. Evan Gattis, DH. Marwin Gonzalez, left field. Chris Carter, first base. Jake Marisnick, right field. Jason Castro, catcher.
And on the mound for the Dodgers, you probably have heard of this guy, Clayton Kershaw. 27 years of age. He's been a Cy Young Award winner 3 times. He's been the MVP. That was last year in the National League, a year that saw him go 21-3 with a 1.77 ERA. He is just spectacular, leads the National League in strikeouts. He's been over 200 strikeouts 6 consecutive years. Only Don Drysdale and Sandy Koufax have turned that trick for the Dodgers previously.
Jose Altuve steps up. He's hit 400 on this homestand with a homer, 3 runs batted in. He's hitting .370 against lefties, second best in the American League. High fastball from the native of Dallas, Texas, Clayton Kershaw. He went to Highland Park High School. Altuve at .307 with 10 homers has driven in 51. He homered and tripled in last night's game. 1 ball, 1 strike. Putting Altuve in double figures in home runs for the first time in his career with 10. Kershaw has only lost to 3 rookie pitchers in the last 3 years. You see them. It's a ball and it's 2-1. Kershaw last time out against Oakland got a no decision Tuesday. 7 innings, 1 run allowed. Lashed on the ground into left field. There wasn't a big hole between Turner and Rollins, but Altuve hit it sharply for a leadoff single.
Keeps on stinging the baseball. And he's putting the ball on the barrel, much like he did last year as he took that tremendous run from June on through the remainder of the year. Well, that's fingers right behind the baseball. Every time you hear people say, get on top of the baseball, that is it.
Carlos Gomez is 6 for 20 lifetime against Kershaw with a homer. Fly ball out to center field. Kike Hernandez. 1 out.
Defensively for the Dodgers. Started in the outfield, Andre Ethier in left. Kike Hernandez in center, Yasiel Puig in right. Left side of the infield, Justin Turner and Jimmy Rollins on the right. Chase Utley and Adrian Gonzalez. A.J. Ellis, fine throwing catcher behind the plate.
Carlos Correa steps into the batter's box on this very hot Sunday. Plenty of humidity out there. Correa with 15 homers has 42 runs batted in and a .275 average. Kershaw missing with ball 1. Kershaw has not lost in his last 7 starts. 5-0 with a 0.87 ERA in those 7.
Helps himself with that running game too. It's been a 50-50 proposition, 6 of 12 against him.
He tosses over. Altuve leads the American League with 32 steals. He also leads in being caught 11 times. Kershaw's career ERA of 2.47 is the lowest for any pitcher since 1920. Ground ball third. Turner backs up to get the hop. Goes to second. Then Utley with the turn. Throws it away. Out number 2 went from 5 to 4. But Utley's throw was wide of the bag at first, allowing Correa to reach.
Well, that's not the Chase Utley on the defensive side of things the Dodgers want to see here in the final month of the year. Month plus anyway, but really can't say that Altuve impacted that throw. I don't think that ball was ever handled well at second base by Utley.
No. Jed Lowry steps up. Jed was 2 for 4 Wednesday. He takes a strike at .252. He has 5 homers, 7 runs batted in for the homestand. He's hit .172. 0 for his last 8 now. 7 runs batted in since he came off the disabled list with a thumb injury. Evan Gattis on deck. Tap to third, but wide of the baseline. It's 0-2 to Lowry. Kershaw is 3-2 lifetime against Houston. There you see the lowest career ERA since 1920. Kershaw better than Hoyt Wilhelm, better than Whitey Ford, better than Sandy Koufax and Jim Palmer.
Yikes. Well, he started throwing Whitey Ford, Sandy Koufax, Jim Palmer in there, and the knuckleball of Hoyt Wilhelm. Wow.
And he throws to first. The batting average against Kershaw this year is .202. For his career, it's .208. Fastball misses, and Lowry takes it for a ball to go to a 1-2 count.
You know, back in the 40s, 50s, Clayton Kershaw would be possibly one of those guys facing a cut in salary. He's seen his ERA the last couple of years go 183, 177. He's at 234 in this miserable season he's having.
Still fourth best in the National League. Lowry is down on strikes to end the Astros first with no runs a hit and a man left. 1-0 Dodgers.
Church or youth sports team and create an experience. Remember, with the Astros group tickets, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com/groups to enjoy special pricing and great benefits by reserving your group today. Lance McCullers in an Astros uniform. It's been a while, and last time we saw him, it wasn't the best of nights for him, optioned after that tough game against Texas. But while in AA, getting lots of rest, trying to recover, trying to be fresh for September. But tough for him as far as trying to keep the stamina up as well. So there is a tough balance for him as he was trying to keep sharp throughout bullpens. Mentally had to tell himself he was facing certain hitters. Of course, he had that minor league appearance, but a very unique situation for a rookie to be in this year. But lots of communication has gone on between A.J. Hinch and Lance just to tell him where he is with this organization, guys.
Foul ball by Ethier. He's behind in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Andre's hitting .340 in his last 16 games. .284 for the season with a dozen homers, 39 driven in. In tight from McCullers. 1 ball, 2 strikes in that game at Texas. Julia referenced that was August 3rd. 1/3 of an inning, 7 hits, 6 earned runs allowed by Lance McCullers. There's a shot inside the third base line. It'll kick out towards center field. Marwin Gonzalez barehanding, throwing into second base on a hop. Altuve with a tag. Out.
Seems to be a question mark in the mind of Ethier. We saw a tag yesterday at second base result in an out, but a tag that didn't get all the way down, and I'm wondering if that was kind of the case here. I think the Dodgers are trying to quickly review and determine what they are going to do. Well, that's a nice job as Marwin just plays the infielder role as the outfielder. Like the shortstop, third baseman coming on, barehanding and throwing. And he puts it right on the money for Altuve. Get that glove down in front of the bag. Doing that reaching game. Put it down. Yeah, that's another one of those question marks for me.
Don Mattingly has not now let the umpires know, and he will now indicate no challenge of that call.
You know, you could make an argument there that it could have gone the other way, but yeah, you hate to miss as a manager early in the ball game with that one.
Yasiel Puig takes strike one. Puig's on a 6-game hitting streak, .250 his average, 10 homers, 35 runs batted in. Puig was 1 for 4 last night. Sat out the opener, 7 for 21 since August 13th. Fouls it back, and it's 0-2. That was a close play at second. John Tumpain, the umpire, with the out call. So Marwin Gonzalez picks up the outfield assist on the tag by Altuve. That's into left field. And that call becomes bigger now after the Puig hit.
I would highly recommend to anybody applying a tag at a bag for the kids, put that glove down on the ground in front of the bag and adjust as needed. Not a bad breaking ball at all. Right off the end of the bat, but finds a hole.
Carl Crawford looks at strike one, the DH today. .272, 2 homers, 10 runs batted in for Crawford. He missed 75 days with an injury, but has hit .375 this month. 0 for 4 in this series, returning to his Houston home. Crawford looks at it, and it's 1-1 to the outfielder who went to Jeff Davis High School. Crawford's now 34. He was drafted by Tampa Bay in the second round. Runner going. Here's the throw from Castro, sailing high, and that's a stolen base for Puig. It's his third of the year.
Clearly not one of the better throws this year from Jason Castro. Just not a great grip, probably.
The Dodgers are dead last in base stealing in the National League. That's their 31st steal. They've been caught 27 times. Puig with only 3 this year.
There was an instant there where hand and foot left the bag.
Crawford strikes out. 1 out. First strikeout for McCullers.
The breaking ball, rolling it, doesn't create that 12-6. Jason's a little bit late getting down today, but he eventually blocks this well.
A.J. Ellis is doing the catching for the first time for the Dodgers in this series. 34-year-old backup for Yasmani Grandal, who normally catches Kershaw. And there's strike one to Ellis, a good defensive player, as Ash indicated earlier. .217, 3 homers, 10 runs batted in. Grandal much superior offensively.
Ellis's numbers throwing have been good, and you never know what the matchups with pitchers might be.
Marisnick comes in right field. And it's out number 3. No runs, 2 hits, and a man left. Gaddis, Gonzalez, and Carter coming up. 1-0 Dodgers. Sports is presented by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. By Jack in the Box. For a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. 1-0 Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw bidding for win number 11 of the season. And it's been rare that Zach Greinke, the loser last night, and Clayton Kershaw, pitching back-to-back in the rotation, have found problems like the Astros hope they will find. They got 3 hits last night in the 3-1 win off Greinke, 2 homers and a triple. Evan Gaddis the batter now. There is strike 1. Only 3 times have the Dodgers lost both games in those back-to-back starts for Greinke and Kershaw down through history. Upstairs, and it's 1-1. We mentioned the Rangers have moved into second place, as you may have picked up on the standings earlier. The Rangers are trailing at Detroit currently 2-1 in the top of the 5th inning today. They're a half game in front of the Angels. There's a shot out to left center field. Ethier with the catch. 1 down. So the Astros indeed would have a tremendous homestand if they could win this game today. The Astros have the best record in the majors in interleague play, 13-3 against the clubs in the National League. It's a club record for them in interleague wins in one season with the 13. Marwin Gonzalez with 8 homers, 27 runs batted in, has a .264 average. It's been .304 on this homestand, including a game-winning homer. In tight to Marwin. There's ball 1. He's hitting .299 as a right-handed batter. Cole Hamels is starting for Texas today in Detroit, trailing 2-1. In for a strike, and it's 1-0. Rangers have played a whole lot better since the Cole Hamels trade. Lefty Matt Boyd is on the hill. He started here at the beginning of this homestand against the Astros, and they got to him. Curveball makes it 2-1. Meanwhile, with the distant cousins of the Dodgers, the Los Angeles Angels, interesting article today in the LA Times, and the headline is "Angels Awful August Gets No Better." The story is written by Kevin Baxter. Foul back. They got torched last night, 15-3 by Toronto to fall out of second place. And this is the biggest deficit for the Angels since July 3rd, 4.5 behind the Astros. And Kevin Baxter writes, with the Houston Astros threatening to turn the American League West race into a rout, this is probably a good time as any to assess the Angels' situation. Spoiler alert, it's not a good one. 3-2. He goes on to say that the closer for the Angels, Houston Street, blew up last night at the end of that loss. The frustration is spilling over. And apparently after he gave up 2 hits in a scoreless 9th inning, he was screaming as he came off the field. And afterwards he regained his composure and he said, I hate losing like this. Talked about the frustration, and he says there needs to be a sense of urgency, Ash.
Here's the news on teams. Everybody hates losing. Everybody deals with it differently, however. And it's not unusual to see a guy show that kind of frustration outwardly when a team's not playing up to expectations.
Kershaw strikes out.
Happens on all clubs that are scuffling.
Those games in September are really going to be something for the fans of the Astros, the Rangers, and the Angels. Chris Carter, with a 182 average, has 17 homers, 49 driven in. Puts one in the air to shallow center field. Utley out. Utley turning and backpedaling for a fine catch for out number 3. 1-0 Dodgers.
Connor Biggio talking about a pre-draft scouting report on his dad from years ago. It says, in the comments section, the scout wrote, quote, does not have a major league bat, but shows a lot of desire. I think it's safe to say the scout got that first part wrong. That's Connor on his dad, and yeah, it would seem so 3,060 hits later.
In case you missed last night's game, that is new at Minute Maid Park. Sunshine Kids logo next to the retired number 7. It's great to see some of the Sunshine Kids out here last night for the ceremonies with Craig and his family on the field. Enrique Hernandez takes Lance McCullers throwing ball 1 as the 3rd inning is underway. Kike Hernandez at 294 with 6 homers, has 18 runs batted in. He lines one to left. That's hit number 4 for the Dodgers.
This guy's a better player than a lot of people apparently think. Take a look at those swings of Kike Hernandez, or that swing. Not an ideal pitch by Lance, but not bad. Guy simply gets it done.
He has his lead with Jimmy Rollins, the batter. The infielders are aligned, playing him to pull. Rollins grounded out to Carter on the first pitch of the game. He takes here, ball one. Astros will end this long homestand, the longest of the year, and head for Yankee Stadium after the game. Scott Feldman and Nathan Eovaldi pitching tomorrow night. 5:30 for Astros pregame tomorrow night. Feldman shooting for win number 6. Eovaldi's a 13-game winner. Tuesday night also a 5:30 Root Sports pregame showtime, leading up to Dallas Keuchel and Ivan Nova. Dallas will be shooting for win number 15. Wednesday's a day game with an 11:30 pregame show. Colin McHugh squares off against Michael Pineda. There are the pitching matchups for the Yankee series coming up starting tomorrow night. And George Springer is due to take batting practice at Yankee Stadium during that series. Perhaps tomorrow, perhaps Tuesday.
Nice. It's going to be a big step forward.
Yeah, A.J. Hinch very, very pleased with George's progress. And the Astros are really following all the doctor's instructions. There's George along with the man, Nate Lucero, the trainer. And I think Nate has attached himself to George to prevent George from overworking it right now, don't you think?
Probably. Well, George is that kind of personality that if you give him an inch of ground, he is just going to go with it like crazy. He wants to get back in there.
Up the middle, Correa steps on second, throws to first. Out! A double play for Correa, and he had to hurry. Seemed to have that perfect clock in his head, though. He did not rush the play too much at second.
What he did really well here was he was ready to throw the instant he was hitting the bag. Might have laid back on the ground ball more than he might otherwise, given another shot at it. I don't know. Seems to size things up awfully well, though.
Carter's stretch helped to get that out at first. 105 double plays turned by the Astros this season. Chase Utley takes strike one. He doubled to left and scored in the first after advancing to third on a wild pitch. Turner brought him home with a sac fly. That was great to hear Craig Biggio acknowledge the Astros training staff in his remarks last night. Just had that shot of Nate Lucero, and Rex Jones is going to be retiring after this season. One month to go, Rex. Bouncer goes foul. 1-2. A little bit more than a month.
Yeah, that mustache is not in jeopardy at the end of his training days either. He's going to keep it.
Best mustache in baseball. He's inside, though, in the training room right now, so we can't get a shot of him. It's 2-2. Speaking of more than a month to go, we had to check with several people today before the game. It's been a while since playoff rosters had to be assembled for the Astros. So regarding the rules of playoff roster selection, Utley with a shot, but Gomez is playing it perfectly in left center field to take it away for out number 3. No runs a hit, nobody left. 1-0 Dodgers.
Park, 1-0 LA. Be social with Root Sports, and we will thank one lucky fan by giving them a better view of the game with a new 40-inch HD television. Just follow us on Twitter at Root Sports SW now through August 30th, and look for your chance to win. Visit rootsports.com for official rules. Brandon?
Thanks, Julia. 1-0 Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw with the lead. Faces Jake Marisnick. And he's taking strike one on the fastball. Marisnick ripped a second inning pitch from Brett Anderson for a 2-run homer Friday night, and then he doubled and stole third in that game, going 2 for 3 in the Astros 3-0 win. This drive goes to left center field. Way back, Hernandez at the base of the wall. He is there.
Jake Marisnick's getting himself some pretty good swings here the last few days. And just missed one off of Kershaw. Like he got the breaking ball. Maybe that curveball stayed back well, used the hands. And Kike found the last little bit of territory.
He was out of room. One long out for Kershaw, who's given up just 12 homers in 171 innings. Strike one to Jason Castro. Castro had 208 with 10 bombs, has driven in 29. Tough assignment for a lefty hitter. Although actually left-handed hitters are a few points higher against Kershaw. 218 is their average against Clayton. Right-handed batters 197. Fouled away.
Yeah, I'm trying to logic my way through that one. That's a tough one. Clayton does have a changeup that he doesn't throw a whole lot, and he probably doesn't throw it all to the lefties, but I don't think that's his impact pitch. Back and forth between the fastball and the curveball, and that curve has been really tough. But it would seem logical to be tough, or maybe tougher on the lefties.
Statistically, the curveball is his hardest pitch to hit. Batting average against it this year, 108.
No, that's about the comparable to the changeup on Greinke that we saw the numbers on.
Now, Greinke giving up a couple of homers last night. He had given up just 8 in 165 innings going into that game. The Astros have shown an ability to win low-scoring games on this homestand. They're 6-3 on the homestand, and they've scored 27 runs in the 9 games, an average of 3 runs per game. Their record this season is 14-47 when they score 3 runs or less, but they've won this homestand doing it. Strikeout looking. Number 3.
Gets him on the curveball. Jack in the Box takes us inside the box scores. We take a look at what Clayton Kershaw does versus the rest of the major leagues. Major leagues in gray, Kershaw in blue, and the curveball chase percentage. And you can see over the last handful of years that chase percentage has gone upward just consistently. Now over 36% of the time, this curveball gets chased with no success. Castro simply watches it with no success.
Altuve, who led off the Astros first with a single, grounds one, and this one could be another single. Rollins, a long throw from the hole. Altuve is 2 for 2, and he hit it in just about the same spot as in the first inning, but this time the shortstop got to it, was unable to prevent Altuve's second hit.
Jose Altuve has just gotten better and better here in the last little while. A little less than 2 weeks. Now, he's maintained that average around 290 plus throughout the year, but he's coming on. He's now at 310 as he makes a late season push.
Gomez went for the first pitch. He hit a fly ball to center field in the first. Altuve takes off. Gomez fouls it.
Yeah, that's one of those scenarios where with Altuve on the move, you might be wise to let him get that base. Then a single can drive him home. fastball. Very impressive by Kershaw, the way he gets right behind it. And not the best of swings anyway from Carlos Gomez.
Ellis caught that one in the mask. Then he said something to Kershaw and trying to read his lips. I believe he said, "Make him stop," pointing to Altuve. He had a pretty good jump. Now not much of a lead at all for Jose. And it's fouled back. 0-2.
Carlos takes such a big swing most of the time that good fastball, and I mean the guys that have a little extra on the heater, it would seem can get on the hands as Kershaw did on that last fastball.
Kershaw's the strikeout leader in the National League with 215. And a throw over to first, and the tag on Altuve. He is picked off to end the Astros third from 1-3. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left after 3, 1-0 Dodgers.
Name that Astro. This is brought to you by your local Honda dealer. Here are your clues for the day. He set a soccer goal scoring record at his high school. He was the original test case for sabermetrics. Interesting. He also taught Jeff Blum the art of the low throw. I've heard this story. Tweet us your guesses. I'll tell you who it is later. Guys.
Well, Julia, Jeff Blum, our embedded Angels correspondent, will be leaving his comfortable home in Southern California, heading for New York today. Justin Turner leads it off in the fourth. He has the sac fly, producing the only run of this game. That was in the first inning. Ball one for Lance McCullers.
Did that silhouette look very much like somebody we should know?
Yes. It's 2-0.
Therefore, it must be Orbit again, right?
It's Orbit again. Orbit stripped down to a onesie a few minutes ago and was doing a dance in front of the Dodger dugout. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Glad I wasn't watching.
Indians 2, Yankees 1, top of the 5th at Yankee Stadium. CC Sabathia did not last through the 3rd, giving up 4 hits and 2 earned runs, walking 4 in 2 2/3. Bouncer goes foul. 2-2. Trevor Bauer on the mound for the Tribe. Carlos Santana hit his 15th home run for Cleveland. Yankees are in a dogfight with Toronto right now for the AL East title. Up to Turner, and that makes it 3-2. Well, these races are something right now. In the AL East, Toronto a half game behind New York. In the NL West, San Francisco a game and a half behind Los Angeles. Out to center field. Carlos Gomez tracking. One out. Okay, if you want to see Orbit in a onesie, you look away from the screen, Ash.
Yeah, avert your eyes. Oh, dear. I caught a glimpse. I'll never be the same.
What's the rating on this? Do we have a rating on it? R or GP? PG?
PG has no chance on this one.
Okay, we're hearing that's a Beyonce style of dance. So that's what's going on. Adrian Gonzalez hit a fly ball to left. And it's ball one. Only fitting in Beyonce's hometown.
She make it back much?
I really couldn't say.
Doesn't check in with you, huh?
That's private information. 2-0. We're neighbors, you know. We both live in Houston.
I thought maybe you meant she was over in that 50-plus neighborhood.
Wouldn't that be something? Foul away.
Special permission granted.
2 balls and a strike. Rangers 3, Tigers 2. Top of the 6th inning. Texas just got 2 in the top of the 6th. Matt Boyd still in there against Cole Hamels. Chris Jimenez hit his 3rd homer. In for a strike. That evens the count at 2-2 for Lance McCullers. The Astros have won or split their last 12 series at home. Breaking ball snapped off and struck him out. Number 2. Let's see what our early answers are on Name That Astro. Caminetti. Jeff Bagwell.
Adam Everett. That silhouette?
Jeff Bagwell. Must be Baggy. Well, we had to get a Morgan Ensberg.
Yeah,
answer.
the low throw comment. That's the one that's got me.
Yeah.
And
Andre Ethier inside, ball 1. He singled to left in the 2nd inning, but was thrown out at second, trying to stretch that hit to a double.
so it sounds to me like somebody who wanted to receive a low throw from Jeff.
That is correct, sir. It was because of the sun setting in Colorado.
Gotcha.
Broken bat looper into right center field for a single. The Dodgers get hit number 5. Now it's Puig who singled to left field and stole a base earlier. The Astros swept a 3-game series in San Diego. They went 4-0 in Colorado, 2 games in each city. They've won 2 of 3 from Arizona here. They'll play Arizona at Arizona in the last 3 games of the season. 2-2 against the Giants and 2-0 against the Dodgers, playing the NL West this year in interleague play. Foul ball makes it strike 1 to Yasiel Puig. The Astros have won 20 of their last 25 here, and they're 44-21 at Minute Maid Park. But when they leave Minute Maid, the last few trips have been tough on them. They're 24-35 away from this ballpark. Puig swings and misses, and it's 0-2. So Ash, you're in for some time off. Blummer gets back in the booth for the next couple of road series and then the next series at home.
Yeah, I'm going to try to enjoy. I know I've taken some notes on how you go about your preparation for a little time at home, and so I'm going to follow as best as I can.
All right, here's a clue. Don't play golf at noon.
I gotcha.
Bouncer third. Lowry to second. To Altuve for the force. No runs, a hit, and a man left. 1-0 Dodgers in the 4th.
brilliant. He has struck out 6 men. He has retired 18 men in a row. Well, friends, you talk to any sports writer, and you'll find that the Encyclopedia of Baseball is the #1 authority. And the cream of all the official statistics, etc., will be found right here in Gillette's Best Pocket Edition.
This moment in history is brought to you by M.D. Anderson. Longtime Dodger play-by-play man Vince Scully's storied career has spanned 7 decades and includes some of the most famous calls in Major League history, including Don Larson's World Series perfect game and the only perfect game in Dodgers history, Sandy Koufax.
Carlos Gomez bats, and there's strike one.
I'm one of those, Brownie, who grew up listening to Vince Scully, the voice of the Dodgers for me.
That's a great listen. That's as good as it gets. No balls, 2 strikes. So entertaining and such a wonderful fountain of knowledge. And a great way to present it. The vocabulary second to none, and just a knowledge of so many other fields other than baseball that he can incorporate into a broadcast. Gomez swings and misses for strikeout number 4 for Kershaw. So things turned sour for the Astros when Altuve was at first base and Gomez at the plate. Altuve picked off. Gomez had an 0-2 count. He comes up with a fresh start, goes to another 0-2 count, and strikes out. And it's Correa batting now. Carlos bounced into a force his first time up. Kevin Eschenfelder just tweeted that 71 times Greinke and Kershaw have pitched back-to-back in the rotation since they've been together. And when they've done it, those 71 times, the Dodgers have lost both of their starts 3 times out of 71. That doesn't mean those 2 pitchers have lost, but the Dodgers as a team have lost. In tight, 1-1. Well, that was a rough weekend.
It makes me reflect immediately back a long time ago, granted, but Koufax and Drysdale back-to-back, and you just didn't anticipate that those guys were going to lose back-to-back many times. That's for sure.
2 balls, 1 strike. Line foul. 2-2.
Time can turn guys into legends, and I'm wondering, when you're looking at a Kershaw and Greinke, are you looking at what eventually becomes a legend, much like Koufax and Drysdale?
Clayton had a 37-inning scoreless streak over 6 starts from July 3rd through August 7th. Curve is fouled. Still 2-2. Kershaw, a first-round pick in 06. He was the 7th player drafted.
His fingers out around the baseball. That's really great rotation.
Kershaw has led the National League 4 years in a row in ERA. Rollins, 2 outs.
Well hit ball as we now take a look at Sandy Koufax versus, or alongside, Clayton Kershaw, 2 of the best Dodger lefties of all time. Of course, Sandy had a brief career, but it was magical. And you can see that the strikeouts per 9 innings actually favors Clayton Kershaw. That might be sacrilegious to say, isn't it? 1-5, hard to believe for Kershaw in postseason play to this point.
Well, the Cardinals lit him up last year. Strike 2, Lowry. Jed struck out in the first inning. It's 1-1. Such a difficult assignment to face these 2 outstanding pitchers in consecutive days. But the Astros did well last night, and they're keeping this game close. What's hard to believe, 2 balls and a strike, is that Kershaw, with all the assorted numbers from this season, 2.34 ERA, 212 strikeouts, only 32 walks, is only 10-6 until you check the run support or lack thereof. Rollins makes it a 1-2-3-4. 1-0 Dodgers through 4.
Days package is a great ballpark bargain. Available for select Monday through Thursday regular season games. This offer scores you a ticket, hot dog, soda, and popcorn, all for just $16. To purchase tickets, visit Astros.com/Coke value, or you can call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Hasn't it been a tremendous homestand, Ash?
Oh boy, has it. Working out with those great finishes to ball games, and the pitching has been late season spectacular.
1-0 Dodgers. Carl Crawford leads it off in the 5th. He struck out in the 2nd inning. There's strike one, so McCullers has returned well to this starting rotation. In the last 10 games, Astros starters have combined for a 1.89 ERA. The Astros have won 7 of 10. 0-2. And they've allowed 2 runs or less in 5 games in a row.
This guy looks like he's ready to maybe finish this whole campaign strong.
One and two.
The 1 run against McCullers today coming really because of what was a wild pitch in the 1st inning, but a wild pitch that I just think Jason Castro would tell you he didn't approach correctly.
Still 1-2. That's what allowed Utley to go from 2nd to 3rd, and he scored on a Turner sacrifice fly. Crawford's down on strikes. That's number 3.
Houston Methodist helps us get to know who might it be. Lance McCullers, of course, 2012 Gatorade National High School Player of the Year. A.J. Hinch knows all about that sort of thing. Began 2014 season at High A Lancaster. Father was a teammate of Don Mattingly with the Yankees. Of course, Mattingly now the manager of the Dodgers.
A.J. Ellis takes ball 1. Ellis hit a fly ball to right field first time up.
Yeah, we didn't get to learn about Lance McCullers' favorite dance moves or anything like that.
No.
going to go with the Watusi.
2 balls, no strikes. You remember that dance?
No. Lance is a nostalgic sort of a guy.
It's a liner out to left center field. It splits the gap and rolls to the bullpen fence. Picked up by Marwin Gonzalez. A double for Ellis, number 6 of the year.
Good to have an out already recorded before the double comes. Fastball fairly well grooved. And I would imagine for Lance McCullers it's a little bit tough to stay really sharp while you go to the minors, you sit around. I don't know exactly what goes on with a workout program, but you're not doing a whole lot of throwing, and so you have to get sharp very quickly.
Kike Hernandez looks at strike 1. He singled to left in the 3rd inning. McCullers has struck out 79 in his first 14 games as an Astro. Only one pitcher has struck out more for the Astros in his first 14. Tom Griffin.
He just witnessed a swing that wasn't even close to not being in the same ballpark as the pitch.
True. He was bailing. Been bailing on both of these breaking balls.
I don't know if you can see baseball and swing, but 2 different planes, 2 different time zones.
One and 2. Chase Anderson of Arizona is blanking Cincinnati 2-0. They're in the bottom of the 7th at Cincinnati. That's where the Dodgers will be for their next series. Wellington Castillo hit his 16th home run for the D-backs. They're at 500, 61 and 61. They are not out of it. Big swing, and Hernandez is down on strikes. Number 4.
It goes right back to the breaking ball, and see that rotation a little off center, not quite over the top like we were seeing on Clayton Kershaw, but very effective nonetheless.
Jimmy Rollins is 0 for 2. He's hit the ball on the ground both times. This one skips by Castro, and Ellis will go to third base.
What is going on? Is this the "you cross me up here" little chat?
Looks like it. Ruled a wild pitch.
Lance had the, well, I don't know that I'm buying in. Breaking ball. See, clearly Castro's looking fastball. That glove started upward, and he never even dropped it all.
Yes, he was.
I'm not so sure Lance was buying into the whatever the comments were there.
In for a strike. 1-1.
Watch a catcher who is not looking for what he gets. Glove goes up, which is what the fastball would provide, and then, man, wasn't looking for that one.
Now swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt, and the runner comes in. 2-0 Dodgers on another wild pitch.
Well, 2 runs basically because of a couple of breaking balls in the dirt. See the glove come up. If that, it stiffens everything, and if you put the glove down and leave it there, the body softens over the baseball, and it's just not been that way today.
Two-1 to Rollins. Ball 3. Nice Sunday crowd here. Crowds have been tremendous for this Dodger series. Great crowd for the no-hitter by Mike Fiers. Another terrific one last night. Struck him out looking. 1 run, 1 hit, 2 wild pitches, nobody left. 2-0 Dodgers in the 5th.
Season tickets are on sale now. Guarantee your seats for a potential 2015 postseason run by reserving your 2016 season tickets today. Visit Astros.com/season tickets or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. The Astros have beaten the Dodgers in this series, but of course they want to go for the sweep today. Being asked about beating a good team like the Dodgers a lot yesterday, and A.J. Hinch said, well, this series isn't over. We want to sweep this team, but he does like how their personality is consistent. They've never had a confidence problem. It doesn't matter who they're playing or who's on the mound, and we saw that last night with Zach Greinke. This team taking advantage of a couple of opportunities that they did have, just a couple of mistakes. He liked the way that his team approached that, and then again today, Clayton Kershaw, another tough pitcher, hoping to get some hits against him today, guys.
Gaddis with a grounder, Utley with a throw to a stretching Gonzalez gets him. 1 pitch, 1 out for Kershaw.
Like one extra little hop or step in there for Chase Utley, but he's been around, knows his stuff, and able to just get Gaddis. Not supposed to treat aging second baseman like that, are you?
He still can move at age 36. Howie Kendrick on the disabled list, so Utley's at second base. Kershaw inside to Marwin Gonzalez. The Dodgers' record when Kershaw is on the mound is 13-11. One ball, one strike. Last year, Clayton was 21-3 with a 1.77 ERA. In 2011, he was 21-5. But this year, 10-6 to this point. But of his 6 losses, 4 have involved quality starts on his part. The losses by scores of 2-1, 3-2, 4-2. Gonzalez with a swing, 1-2, and that's why, for the Astros' part, really important to keep the game close. That second Dodger run probably makes Kershaw feel a whole lot better. Strike 3 call. That's number 5.
Yeah, for me, it's doubly tough as you watch the strikeout of Gonzalez, second time on the day, but doubly tough when the 2 runs scored by the Dodgers haven't been actually driven in the way you typically would because the wild pitch has been the factor.
Against his curveball, it's a 108 batting average. Only Charlie Morton has a lower batting average against that pitch, but Lance McCullers is right behind. Chris Carter looks at strike one. He popped a second in the second inning. Carter takes, on average, there's fewer than one base runner per inning against Kershaw. His whip, walks and hits per innings pitched, is 0.92. Carter looks at ball two. Kansas City is leading 4-2 at Boston. They're in the top of the sixth inning. Edinson Volquez on the mound. Mike Moustakas hit his 13th homer. Shot left field corner, the ball hooking, and it's a fair ball into that corner, kicking back toward third base. That's a double for Carter. 13th double for Carter this season. Hit number 3 for Houston.
Yeah, I don't know that Carter's the first guy you think of in terms of having great success against the kind of stuff Kershaw has, but gets a fastball to handle right there, right through the heart of the plate, up, turns it around quickly.
Just fair.
That caught some of the yellow line, I guess. About it.
That was close.
Very.
13 doubles. That ball was hooking hard, and evidently just did catch, as you said, a piece of that yellow line. There's the umpire at third, Bill Welke, talking with Turner about that call. Jake Marisnick drove a ball deep to the warning track in left center field, about 400 feet away. Caught by Kike Hernandez. Ball one from Kershaw. The Nationals lead the Brewers 6-3. They're in the fifth inning. Jordan Zimmerman on the hill for Washington. Matt Garza started, but he's gone after 4 2/3 for Milwaukee, allowing 6 earned runs. Nats are back to 500. Strike for a 1-1 count. New York Mets have a 5-game lead over Washington right now. Those wild card races are going to make for a crazy September this year. Back to Kershaw. In the fifth inning, no runs a hit and a man left. 2-0 Dodgers. Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B. And by Big Time Bats. The Craig Biggio Louisville Slugger Hall of Fame bat is now available. Call Big Time Bats at 866-490-BATS or see it at BigTimeBats.com. 2-0 lead for the Dodgers after 5 here at Minute Maid Park in Houston. And the Astros will say a farewell for a week to this ballpark. 3 in New York against the Pinstripers at Yankee Stadium, and then an off day Thursday, and 3 at beautiful Target Field against the Minnesota Twins before they return home.
Your first peek at Target?
Yeah. You recommend it?
Absolutely. And you're going to love the food they serve there for the media.
Okay. Chase Utley leads it off. He has a double and a line out to center. Fouls that one for strike 1. What is your favorite food in Minnesota?
Oh, goodness. I couldn't begin to tell you, but they give you a nice, well-rounded choice there at the line.
Brats?
Not the typical.
Carlos Gomez with a catch. There's out number 1 for McCullers.
They'll give you options. Let's put it that way.
Pike, walleye pike.
Haven't seen that one yet, but make sure and let them know. You are all over the options, aren't you?
You know, the Minnesota State Fair is in Minneapolis next week.
Oh, it's coming up next week.
Yeah.
You're going to choose that over the game?
Yep. No, a day off. Justin Turner with a sac fly. 0 for 1. He's hit the ball to center field twice. That's strike 1.
Look what Lance McCullers is doing today. Yeah, there are a couple of runs on the board. Could be otherwise, but he's kept that pitch count down.
Grounded to Lowry. 2 outs. Earlier we started to talk about playoff rosters, and then we got a detour. Let's take a detour for your announcement first.
Yeah, we'll do it briefly. Kick off your weekends right here at Minute Maid Park with the best Friday night fireworks show in town, presented by Marathon Oil Corporation. The next fireworks spectacular is September 4th when the Astros take on the Twins. For more information, visit astros.com/fireworks, or you can call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Adrian Gonzalez swings late on the high heater. Strike 1 to Gonzalez. He's 0 for 2. The rule we found out today before the game is that in order to be eligible for the playoff roster, players need to be in that organization before September 1st. So they can be in the minor leagues. I'm thinking primarily about Preston Tucker, who was just optioned to Fresno after last night's game. He can be eligible for the playoffs, even though he is at AAA, because typically he wouldn't be able to come back for 10 days after being sent down. 0-2. Josh Fields has been optioned to Corpus Christi as well. He could be back on the last day of August, so he would be presumably on the major league roster before September 1st.
Well, then you have to wrangle a little bit too there, but
yeah,
no need to fret over the playoff rosters, though.
Struck him out. Middle of the 6th inning. 2-0 Dodgers. 6 strikeouts for McCullers. Now the Astros with Castro, Altuve, and Gomez will try to get some runs off Kershaw.
Rico big hits of the homestand. That's what we're going to call it today. So Colby Rasmus, 2 homers on Sunday. The Astros have 10 home runs on this homestand. Looking good, taking advantage of Minute Maid Park. You see Gaddis getting his 19th of the year. Some big homers, including Marlon Gonzalez's first career walk-off home run. Jose Altuve adding one last night. We saw him get his 10th home run. We'll see him coming up soon as he's showing off some power, guys. That swing, though, A.J. Hinch saying last night, hasn't really changed at all. He's actually just learning his swing a little bit better and elevating some balls like he did last night, getting that 10th, guys.
Strike 2, Jason Castro, 2-0 Dodgers. Castro was caught looking in the third. Altuve is on deck, and he has 2 of the 3 Houston hits. Yeah, it's been a powerful Altuve. 22 doubles, 10 homers. Now has his first triple after last night. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Astros now have a club record tying 9 players in double digits for homers, with a chance for a couple of more before the season ends. 1-2. When they set that club record in 2000, it was Jeff Bagwell, Richard Hidalgo, Moises Alou, Lance Berkman, Darrell Ward, Ken Caminetti, Julio Lugo, Chris Truby, and Mitch Molesky. Powerful year here. Strikeout looking, and that's number 6 for Kershaw. Altuve 2 for 2 in this game, and on this homestand the Astros have hit 10 home runs. They've gone 6-3 with a 1.94 ERA. Even though the 10 home runs is great in 9 games, they've scored 27 runs, so they've made the most of that average of 3 runs per game.
Well, you know, it comes down to you get the solid pitching, and it's been better than solid. It's been great over the homestand. The home runs that get hit alongside like a sneaky pair yesterday, and you have a chance to win some games.
Ball 1 to Altuve. Both times he is single between third and short. Two and 0 to Jose. A very exciting homestand with those 3 walk-off wins and a no-hitter. One of the most exciting homestands in a long time here. 2-1. Rips that one foul.
Yes, he hit the ball hard. And it doesn't matter what the pitch is or the location. He finds a way right now.
Sure does. And that next homestand begins August 31st.
See that slider rotation.
Seattle Mariners are here August 31st through September 2nd. Right field line. Altuve punches one into the corner. Heads for second base. Puig with a long throw. Altuve's 3 for 3. 23rd double of the year for Altuve.
Like I said, doesn't matter where. And it's the second time I can think of in the last handful of games where he's lined one down the right field side. It's not like he's overusing right field by any stretch, but it's available to him, and that makes a big difference. And he's just continuing to push that batting average upward. The start of play today, Jason Kipnis, Nelson Cruz, and Prince Fielder, the only guys above 320, and Altuve now at 311. Of course, then there's Miguel Cabrera.
Carlos Gomez. High for ball 1. He has hit a fly ball to center and struck out. Really important at bat of this game right here. Kershaw with 48 strikes, 20 balls. Carlos Correa on deck. Foul back, and it's 1-1.
Back on Altuve again. Watch this stroke to right field. It looks so simple, doesn't it? You've got to stay on top of that baseball. You can't try to come from underneath and make that happen. And Jose is making that kind of swing now happen on a regular basis.
Showing bunt, Gomez pulls the bat back, and it's 2-1 now.
And it looks like the move of a guy who's not confident about driving the baseball.
Just that one opportunity so far for the Astros, with a man in scoring position all day against Kershaw. A hit to left field. Altuve had to wait for the ball to clear Rollins. He goes to third on a single by Gomez. First and third, one out.
On the fists, and Kershaw's been able to get in on the hands pretty well today on Gomez, but this one kind of pushes out there to left field. Of course, Gomez very strong. Cutting that version in on the hands.
Now the Astros, with 5 hits, have their best scoring opportunity of the day. Carlos Correa is 0 for 2. First and third, one out for Correa. Lowry on deck. Cubs lead the Braves 7-0 in the bottom of the 4th at Wrigley behind Jason Hamill. Upstairs, ball 1.
What an opportunity for a big swing.
This is the 3rd straight Astro hitter who's gone ahead in the count on Kershaw. Miguel Montero hit his 13th home run for the Cubs. Dexter Fowler, number 14. Chris Bryant, number 18. Kyle Schwarber, number 11. Up the middle, Kershaw off his leg. Altuve will score. Everybody's safe. On an infield RBI single by Correa. 43rd run batted in for Correa, who leads All-American League rookies.
No mistake about it. Correa's been in the middle of a funk. And sometimes you get out of a funk with good fortune. And good fortune shined all over Correa and the Astros on this one. Watch the fielding position of Kershaw. Not ideal. End result for the Astros, ideal.
Now he had turned his back on the hitter with that follow through. In his last start, he made a good behind the back play, but this one hit his leg. Good break for the Astros. Now 2-1 Dodgers, and it's Lowry batting. Lowry, with a strikeout and a ground out, has runners at first and second. Pick off at second, but no throw. Gomez is a base stealer.
Looked like Kershaw had skates on that left foot.
He was quick on that move.
Very quick, but for whatever reason, that left foot slid out from under him.
Decent sized lead for Gomez. Fly ball to right field. Here's Puig with the catch. Big time arm for Puig. He'll fire to third. Here's Gomez, and Gomez is safe. Strong throw from Puig in right. 2 outs.
Well, you better make that. And now 90 feet away, but the 2 outs. Not overly deep here. And like you say, this is a tremendous throwing arm in terms of strength.
That's a peg from Puig. Now runners at first and third, 2 outs for Gaddis. Gaddis is flying to left and grounded to second. Astros could use a big 2-out RBI from Gaddis. Alan Gonzalez on deck. strike for Kershaw.
Again, that big opportunity for an impactful swing for the club.
Now 1-1 to Evan. They're in the bottom of the 7th at Yankee Stadium. The Indians lead the Yankees 3-1. Trevor Bauer still pitching and pitching very well. Two and 1 to Evan. Gaddis has walked only 18 times. The Rangers lead Detroit 4-2. They're in the middle of the 8th in the Motor City. Gomez takes off, throw to the plate, he slides, and he's out. Now Carlos Gomez on an attempted steal at home ruled out, and Ellis is down after the tag at home plate. Gomez was pointing over to A.J. Hinch to review the play. But now attention being paid to Ellis after that tag at home plate.
Now Kershaw was in the middle of this unusual stretch move, and maybe if you're going to try to go, you got to go earlier than that. But ow. What happened here? Is it possible that Gomez got that right hand to the plate before a tag?
He was reaching way out toward the plate. Now AJ is going to go to the first base umpire here.
I don't know.
Crew Chief John Hirschbeck.
Glove goes in, right hand comes to the plate. Is there a tag up in those frames prior to the hand getting to the plate? I imagine pretty good shot.
Well, we were watching for the tag, so couldn't see how Ellis got hurt on that. Like his tag was actually up around the chin of Gomez. But Ellis is getting some attention there. Seems to be fine. He's going to go down the steps.
Is there a tag on the chin? I don't know. It's hard to tell. I don't see the uniform on the chest there.
No, can't tell.
Move at all.
Can't tell. It was near the chin of Gomez.
Not sure that angle gives enough information.
Now we see the head injury with the foot of Gomez into the mask of Ellis. Now the fans here are cheering with the replay being shown up on El Grande. They seem to feel that a favorable call for the Astros could be coming from New York on this replay review. A.J. Hinch won 3 challenges a few nights ago. This is going to be a very big one in this game.
This is about as good of an angle as we're going to get. I don't know. Is there anything definitive there that would cause you in either case? Well, there's the tag on the chin, I would say. That might be the best of the angles that I've seen.
Yeah. Is it conclusive?
The thing is, since the out call was made, is it conclusive that there was something that you could call the other direction?
James Hoy is the home plate umpire. It's a difficult call for the umpire, too, because a steal of home is so rare and unexpected. And you question whether you want to steal home with 2 outs and Evan Gaddis at the plate. But he had a big jump. to having time.
Kershaw had that glove up in the air for at least a couple of beats prior to the break there by Gomez.
Ruled a caught stealing, and that'll be the end of the inning with 1 run scoring on 3 hits and a man left. We go to the 7th inning with the Dodgers in front 2-1.
By your local Honda dealer. Here are your clues we gave you earlier in the game. Silhouette looks familiar. Some of your guesses on Twitter, though. Let's check out some of those. Some pretty good ones in here. Alan Ashby, one of the guesses.
Yeah.
Brian Jones. Is it Berkman? We'll have to see. Oh, we have it. It's definitely Bagwell. Land. Is it? Oh, has to be Bagwell.
Nothing for Orbit, huh?
No, not yet. Can we give it away? Here we go. It's Baggy. He set a soccer goal record at his high school. Two-time soccer phenom. So this sabermetrician Bill James predicted that Bagwell would be a star and feuded it with a print journalist who disagreed and told Blummer that if he threw low to first and he missed it, it was on Baggy. If he threw it high, any error was going to be Blummer's fault. I love that story.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, we have an apparent injury to Jed Lowry. Head athletic trainer Nate Lucero is alongside Lowry, who's taking some warm-up throws there at third base. So perhaps the surgically repaired right thumb is bothering him. A.J. Hinch is coming out now.
You know, the way he was using the right hand to do the Velcro strap thing there, of course you'd have to use your opposing thumb to make that happen. Makes me think that that wouldn't be the issue, but
well, Lowry's coming off the field. With the roster move today, with Lance McCullers promoted from AA Corpus Christi to start this game, and Preston Tucker optioned back to AAA Fresno, there are now 3 bench players for A.J. Hinch. Valbuena, Rasmus, and Conger are those 3 bench players. So Valbuena will come in to play third base.
take another look, Brownie, at this play with Gomez trying to steal home plate. Let's see the timing. Watch as Kershaw gets the hands up in the air. Now, if you're going to go, now is the time to do it. But it doesn't happen until now. So the timing wasn't ideal. Turned out really close at the plate, no doubt.
And ruled a caught stealing from 1-2. Kershaw, by the way, stepped off the rubber and threw, so it was not a pitch. Now 2-1 with Valbuena in the game at third base, and the 7th inning begins with Andre Ethier. He's 2 for 2. Each club with 6 hits and no errors. Dodgers with 2 left on base. The Astros with 3. There's strike 1 on the fastball to Ethier.
And then there's the case of Evan Gattis standing at the plate, and his teammate tries to steal home while he's got a bat in his hand.
Well, steals him home. You know, the right-handed batter, that runner's coming from behind him. So that can be dangerous if there's a pitch thrown. He might be swinging at it and drilling the runner from third base. That's happened a few times. In that case, Gattis backed away. Liner to right field. Marisnick coming in, and he trapped the ball. Ethier with a single, now 3 for 3.
I'm going to name my 2 most aggressive outfielders that I've watched this year. They are in no particular order. Jake Marisnick and George Springer. I mean, they will come after everything in sight. And Jake does a great job in the non-catch mode here to make sure he keeps that baseball right there.
Yeah, that could be a triple. Yasiel Puig is 1 for 2. Hit number 7 for the Dodgers. Foul for strike 1. 28,665 the paid attendance on this Sunday. McCullers is 4-0 at home with a 1.50 ERA in 7 starts. And that includes that shutout win over Seattle here June 14th. And that one he came out after 5 no-hit innings because he had thrown 90 pitches. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chad Qualls is warming up. McCullers had a complete game. 1-run win. He gave up 1 run and struck out 11 in 9 innings, beating Baltimore here June 3rd 3-1. No walks and 11 strikeouts in that one. In for a strike, and it's 1-2. So with Lance now at 82 pitches and Qualls warming up, it would appear that he's not going to be in this game a whole lot longer. He's thrown the ball well today. 3 wild pitches have been a big part of the story for the Dodgers' 2 runs. No. Flared foul.
Don't need one of these foul it off numerous time at bats, that's for sure.
Carl Crawford's on deck. Upstairs for a ball. 2-2. There had not been anything said about Jed Lowry having problems recently. Liner to left center, in for a hit. Gomez over to play it. Ethier to second base. Back-to-back singles by the Dodgers here in the 7th. Get Crawford to the plate.
See the breaking ball. And handled very nicely by Yasiel Puig.
Crawford struck out in the 2nd inning and again in the 5th. He fouls it for strike 1. Davey Lopes, the first base coach of the Dodgers, a former Astro. He was one of the fine acquisitions made during that '86 pennant drive. General manager Dick Wagner at the time. Davey, part of that big homegrown 30 home run hitting Dodger club back in the late 70s. And a lot of those infielders were converted from other positions. Davey played second, and Billy Russell at shortstop. Ron Say, the Penguin, at third, and Steve Garvey at first. That was quite an infield.
Played with Davey for a while, and great teammate. And a guy who really cared about winning.
He was a tremendous base stealer. Managed Milwaukee. 1 ball, 1 strike. So he managed in the big leagues, and so did Ron Renicky. They both managed Milwaukee, and they're on the baselines for the Dodgers right now. Crawford swings at it and strikes out. Number 7 for McCullers.
Some guys see it well on certain pitchers, some guys don't. 3 times going down with the strikeout Crawford, and yet Andre Ethier 3 for 3 on the day. Go figure.
And McCullers, trailing 2-1, faces A.J. Ellis, who doubled in the 5th inning and scored. He's 1 for 2. Ellis looks at ball 1. Ellis was the regular catcher for the Dodgers for a few years before they traded for Grandal. Oliver Perez is up for Houston. AJ in 2012 had 13 homers, 52 runs batted in, and the next year again a 52 RBI season. In for a strike, 1-1. Detroit is batting in the bottom of the 9th, trailing Texas 4-2. Sam Dyson pitched the 8th inning for the Rangers. 2-1. Cole Hamels in 6 innings gave up 2 earned runs today for Texas. Mike Napoli hit his 15th homer. A.J. Ellis from Cape Girardeau, Missouri, went to Austin Peay. It's 3-1. He was an 18th round pick of the Dodgers in 03. Now McCullers takes a little walk. 92 pitches for Lance.
Didn't anticipate seeing this many pitches today from Lance. But for me, he's done a really good job.
In for a strike. 3-2 in his 3-inning start against Arkansas Tuesday. He threw 53 pitches. Two with 1 out. Ethier and Puig, the base runners. They're going. Strike 3. Throw to third on 1 bounce. Valbuena with a tag. Double play. A strikeout, throw out, double play with Ethier gunned down at third. Valbuena picked it out and tagged out Ethier. And McCullers gets his 8th strikeout. Then the play goes 2-5 on Ethier to close out the Dodgers on the top of the 7th with no runs, 2 hits, and a man left. And now let's join in the singing of God Bless America.
To every one of our servicemen and women who protect our freedoms around the world each and every day. Please welcome back the Liberty Bells, and please join them in the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God
plate to end the top of the 7th inning. As Lance McCullers on a 3-2 throws the breaking ball, gets the called 3rd strike, and then the throw from Castro up and over the catcher, or the hitter rather, picked out nicely by Luis Valbuena, and you get your double play. Pretty easily set up. McCullers does a nice job to not only pick up the strikeout, but hold down that jump from second.
Evan Gattis, curveball, ball 1. He was at the plate when Gomez was thrown out trying to steal home. So both teams have had a key caught stealing here in the last few minutes. Gattis is 0 for 2. Kershaw delivers a strike. 1-1. Jed Lowry left the game with a right thumb contusion today. Gattis started the swing and then he checked it. John Hirschbeck with a call. 2-1. So not knowing on Lowry's thumb, we hadn't heard any reports of any difficulty with it since he returned after the surgery and the rehab, but sometimes just repeated at bats, you know, there can be a bruise in there that's aggravated by.
Against the left-hand pitcher Kershaw, maybe those right-handed at bats where you have a chance of kind of jamming the thumb that might be coming into play.
That can happen. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's the final in Detroit. The Rangers beat the Tigers 4-2. Cole Hamels getting his first win as a Ranger, beating Matt Boyd, who's 1-4. Sean Tollison got save number 25. So the Rangers are on the board with win number 64. Line shot, left field corner. Gattis will make the turn. Here's Ethier picking it up. Gattis is in with a double.
So is that an angry Evan Gattis swing after having the bat taken out of his hand?
Well, he put a nice swing on it.
I know I've been there when somebody got caught stealing when a key situation left a hitter at the plate and he had to head back to the dugout. And I have had some angry teammates in those situations.
Well, Gattis leads the club in runs batted in. He had Gomez at third and he had Correa at first with 2 outs. Now Gonzalez. Marwin 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Corner infielders pinching in on him. Kershaw pounds it up and in. Ball 1. The Dodger bullpen has been unpredictable. Kershaw's gone the distance twice this year. Dodger closer Kenley Jansen has been reliable, but getting to him has been an issue. (2-0). The way Nate Lucero went out and Jed Lowry took some warm-up throws indicated that there was a chance he might not come out of that game. So perhaps a day or 2 off, and he'll be able to play again. We don't really know anything beyond what we reported. Right thumb contusion. Chris Carter's on deck. Outside, ball 3. Lowry made the last out in the 6th inning on a fly ball to right, so perhaps during that at bat something aggravated the thumb. 3-0 now to Marwin.
Well, that could precipitate an intriguing move.
3-1. The Astros minor league clubs are looking good, several of them for playoff spots. Three and 2 now for Kershaw. The Astros are going to call up some players, of course, in September. Some would come up on the 1st. And others would wait until after the clubs finish their playoff runs. Still discussing which ones.
Marlin just has not had a response for Clayton Kershaw.
Struck him out after falling behind 3-0. 7 punch-outs.
Follow the Astros all season long with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet.
Now here's a big at bat in this game. That little guy wants to see Chris Carter come through.
It's a thumbs-up moment right now coming up.
Carter doubled to left in the 5th after popping to second his first time up. Ball 1 to Carter. Fresno lost to Round Rock last night 4-2. Max Stassi had 2 hits. Carter tried to check and did. 2 balls, no strikes. Carter looks at it, and it's 3-0 to Chris. So 2 straight hitters have gone out in front, 3-0 in the count against Kershaw. Kershaw has not walked a man. What? 3-1.
Well, he doesn't miss his spots by much. He's been trying to come in throughout this at bat, and you can see the series of pitches.
He had not thrown 3 balls to a hitter until this inning. Foul back. 3-2. The Angels got 5 in the first, and they lead Toronto 5-1 in the top of the second now. Off R.A. Dickey.
Guy's got really great stuff, Kershaw, but he's also he's become a master of the craft.
Big 3-2 coming here to Carter with Marisnick on deck. He struck him out. 2 hitters in a row. Kershaw fell behind 3-0 and came back to get strikeouts.
You saw that strike zone. And there's just no doubt what Kershaw had in mind, how he wanted to go after Chris Carter. Does the polishing with the slider.
Now Kershaw facing Jake Marisnick has Gaddis still at second after a leadoff double. 2 outs. Marisnick is 0 for 2. Castro's on deck. Marisnick drove a ball deep to left center field. It was caught at the wall in the 3rd inning. Grounded back to the pitcher in the 5th. Strike to Marisnick. Michael Feliz went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs for Corpus last night, but took a loss. Chris Hatcher's warming up for the Dodgers, a right-hander, and Pat Neshek for the Astros. Marisnick takes. It's 1-1 to Jake.
Watching the slider of Kershaw makes me think of Steve Carlton and the way he could come time and time again with that pitch.
1-2.
Some guys start trying to work that inside edge, and you see pitches all over the plate, but just a tight pattern put up by Kershaw. And eventually you start getting the umpire on your side.
Two and two to Marisnick. Garrett Richards is pitching for the Angels today. Mike Trout had an RBI triple. He's driven in 73 runs. Albert Pujols 71 for that Angel club. Hatcher in the bullpen. Rolled foul by Marisnick.
The occasional changeup.
The Dodgers were just swept in a 2-game series at Oakland earlier this month. They were swept in a 3-game series at Pittsburgh. Marisnick strikes out. Kershaw allows a leadoff double, strikes out the next 3. He fell behind 3-0 on 2 of them, and the Dodgers lead 2-1 after 7.
Time now for our AT&T call to the bullpen. As we see Chad Qualls come on. For Chad, 46th appearance on the year. Done a nice job, 32 hits allowed in just under 40 innings. The numbers really back up the fact that he's gotten the ground balls he tries to get, and he's been really strong since getting healthy.
Kike Hernandez will lead it off. Sorry about that, Ash. Hernandez is 1 for 2. Strike for Qualls. Quite a day for Lance McCullers. 7 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 8 strikeouts, 94 pitches, 64 of them strikes. He and Kershaw together have totaled no walks and 17 strikeouts in this game. In the air, foul, and back into the seats. It's 0-2. Down Through the years, many a well-pitched game between the Dodgers and Astros, this time in interleague play.
It's a tough game for everybody on the field. There's no question. But in my mind, this was one of those efforts by Lance McCullers that could have seen him leave the game without a run against him today.
Yeah. 1-2. Chase Utley doubled with one out in the first inning, took third on a wild pitch, scored on a sac fly. Take the wild pitch out of the equation, that run doesn't score. In the fifth inning, another one out double by Ellis. A wild pitch gets him to third, a wild pitch scores him. The next two guys struck out. Take that one out of the equation, and no run score. Check swing call goes against the Dodgers and Kike Hernandez. Qualls opens with a strikeout.
Peek back at the starting pitching, and of course for the Astros, Lance McCullers. And that slider was a big time pitch. Played Kershaw with a very good fastball. McCullers, in fact, had higher numbers in terms of velocity, but both guys showing some pitching mad skills this afternoon.
Qualls gets a strike on Jimmy Rollins. Rollins is 0 for 3. The Astros will have Castro, Altuve, and Gomez due up in the bottom half. In for a strike for Qualls, and it's 0-2.
Now I'll give you one more impression, and this was my impression coming into this weekend as you saw that Lance McCullers was going to get the assignment to oppose Clayton Kershaw. Lance McCullers is a guy who's up for that assignment. He relishes the chance for the big moment.
That's what's been so impressive about these young Astros players this year. McCullers, Vince Velasquez, Carlos Correa, Preston Tucker. They're not awed by the big stage. Very good pitching duel today.
Really easy to say, oh gee, I'm going to get McCullers or get Kershaw, but I don't think that ever even occurs to Lance McCullers.
Another strikeout for Qualls. Number 10 for Astros pitchers.
Effective slider, well spotted.
Now Utley. Six straight quality starts for Astros pitchers on this homestand. Utley looks at ball one. This good Sunday crowd chanting "Let's go Astros," and Utley with Turner on deck, trying to get something started for the Dodgers with 2 outs in a 1-run game. 8 hits for Los Angeles, 7 for Houston. 1-1. Four to 3, Cleveland leading the Yankees at Yankee Stadium in the bottom of the 8th. Bounce wide of first. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I mentioned it a couple of days ago, but it was announced that A.J. Reed was named the Class A Advanced California League MVP, even though he was promoted from Lancaster to Corpus Christi July 12th. He was the MVP, hitting .346, 23 homers, 81 runs batted in 82 games. Big year for A.J. Reed. He's done extremely well at Double-A. Line drive up the right field line goes foul. Still 1-2. When the Astros get back, They will welcome the Seattle Mariners August 31st through September 2nd. Then the Minnesota Twins September 4th through the 5th. After that, they go on a 3-city West Coast trip, and that will be vital. Oakland, the Angels, Texas. Out to center field, Gomez back. In the 8th inning, Qualls has a 1-2-3 frame, keeping it close, 2-1 Dodgers.
We've seen some great pitching performances from this Astros ball club, including Lance McCullers today, but none better than what Mike Fiers did on Friday night, throwing a no-hitter, his first complete game. It was a magical moment in this ballpark. You guys remember it. But for Mike Fiers, who came in the very next day and said he's still just living the dream, couldn't believe what had happened. It's something you think about, but you never think it's going to happen to you, and it did for him. It's something he's worked really hard for. He talked about his career being kind of up and down and how much that meant to him, his family. One thing I noticed during that game, though, was all of the starting pitchers that lined up together and watched Fiers every move that night, starting the 6th or 7th, completely into it. Dallas Keuchel, Scott Feldman saying their hearts were racing. They were just as nervous watching that as they wanted it for him. They've really brought him into this starting rotation, guys. It's a tight group already, and Fiers being the new guy. But these guys want to perform well every time they go out there. They're competing against each other, but it's great to have these guys just kind of one-up each other every night, just like Fiers did on Friday night.
That's ball 1 to Jason Castro. He is struck out looking both times, 2-1. Clayton Kershaw with the lead. Fouls it back. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. That lead was challenged in the 7th inning. Evan Gattis led off with a double, but then Kershaw struck out the next 3. Altuve on deck. Gomez to follow in the Astros 8th inning. One ball and 2 strikes.
By the way, did you notice how many high fastballs were delivered by Fiers that Dodgers hitters could not lay off of? And that was kind of the scouting report going in that I had heard about. The Dodgers were to lay off the high heat, but on that type of pitcher that rotate the shoulders, the right shoulder drops down and the left arm and glove go up in the air, very tough to lay off. That's who Mike Fiers is.
Fly ball goes out to left field. Ethier in. 1 out.
We've got some guys that are not known as the top of the order guys. Of course, Colin McHugh has paired up with Dallas Keuchel and been great this year, but Scott Feldman and Mike Fiers maybe in particular, and you combine all the numbers, these guys have lit it up in the month of August. And part of why the Astros have pitched so well as a team and have become that top pitching team in the American League.
Jose Altuve is 3 for 3 in this game. Rips that one foul. There's strike one. 2 singles and a double for Altuve. He scored in the 6th inning on Correa's infield hit. Thirteen 3-hit games for Altuve now this season. That one goes foul, and it's 0-2. Gomez is on deck. A 1-run game right now. Gomez was caught trying to steal home in the 6th. That's the biggest play. Altuve strikes out. Number 10 for Kershaw.
Picked up a number of the recent ones with that slider. This is the curveball over the top, and had Altuve out in front. And it's been hard to fool him. This one finally accomplishes that. See how the glove of Ellis stays not quite all the way on the ground, but down. He's not bringing it up to try to catch the ball, and that softens up that body over the baseball. Really good job.
Gomez singled in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 3.
Where's that? Kershaw and Ellis want to know where that pitch was.
Maybe a little outside.
Maybe.
High drive left field. If it's fair, it's a tie game. It's hooking, and it is foul.
You know, Gomez has gotten tied up a lot on pitches hard in. Kershaw came off speed with the breaking ball down and in, and it might have given Gomez the chance to get the barrel to it. He gets it out front there.
One pitch, roll to shortstop. Rollins to his left, throwing to first base. He gets Gomez. It's a 1-2-3-8, 2-1 Dodgers going to the ninth. Baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Jack in the Box. For a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. And by the new movie No Escape, in theaters everywhere, August 26th. A little snack in the afternoon and a 2-1 ball game. Tony Sipp out of the Astros bullpen to work the Dodger ninth inning. 2-1 Dodgers. Turner, Gonzalez, and Ethier due up for the Dodgers. Turner had a sac fly in the first. He is 0 for 2. And Sipp in 48 games, 2-4 with a 2.18 ERA.
You know, Tony did a really good job for the Astros last year. Kind of a big surprise. Some of his numbers, including the ERA, better and even much better than a year ago.
Chad Qualls had a 1-2-3-8 with 2 punch outs. There has not been a walk in this ball game. Turner started the bat. The appeal went down to first. John Hirschbeck with the safe side. 2-0. We were getting some questions on Twitter about the attempted steal of home in the 6th inning by Gomez. Some people thought that Kershaw balked, but he stepped back off the rubber. And then he threw home. 3-0.
We're looking for answers in this game. Does he step off the rubber? Watch the left foot. There, he steps off beautifully, and that eliminates any shot for a balk. He just becomes a defensive player at that point.
Yes.
And the other question I received on Twitter was the catcher blocking the plate illegally? Well, the rule says you cannot block the plate without the ball. Once you have the ball, you can step in there and block to your heart's content.
In for a strike. 3-2.
And it all comes down to interpretation at that point. Did he have the baseball? Was he legally in position to block the plate? And I guess you could discuss that all you want to.
3-2 to Turner. Struck him out. Strikeout number 11 for Astros pitching.
So did he block the plate? Well, he's coming out from behind home plate and now gets the ball, and there's plenty of plate there to be seen for Carlos Gomez. So I think that in terms of that question, A.J. Ellis was well within his rights.
Now it's Gonzalez batting. Kenley Jansen, the closer for the Dodgers, warming up. Gonzalez is 0 for 3. Well, if this game winds up 2-1 Dodgers, there are going to be a whole lot of questions about that play. Liner to right over the shift. Gonzalez gets it in for a single. He's 1 for 4. Carlos Gomez will be questioned about why he would steal home with Evan Gattis at the plate.
Valid question. And I imagine it's going to come down to him saying, you know, I didn't feel like Kershaw was watching me. He's got that extended kind of unusual stretch move and thought he could get it. Really, the ball beat him by a landslide.
Scott Van Slyke comes out off the Dodger bench to pinch hit for a man who's 3 for 3, Andre Ethier, but with a left-handed pitcher in the game, it's Van Slyke, the right-handed batter, instead.
And I'm not saying the tag beat him by a landslide. The ball beat him by that margin.
Van Slyke 5 for 12 as a pinch hitter with 2 runs batted in. Infield shifts around, playing him to pull. In the dirt, there's ball 1. Jackie Robinson of the Dodgers, of course, was famous for stealing home.
Yogi Berra says he got him. To this day, Yogi will tell you he got him.
Van Slyke was in the lineup against lefty Scott Kazmir last night, and he went 0 for 3. It's high, and it's 2-0. Astros will have their 3, 4, 5 hitters due up in the bottom of the 9th. It's 3-0. Correa Valbuena and Gaddis. There's a walk, the first of the game.
A reminder, Astros baseball offers incredible savings such as the all-you-can-eat seats at Minute Maid Park. Available every game. This great deal scores you a ticket and unlimited ballpark favorites starting at only $35. For more information, visit astros.com/value or you can call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
That'll be it for Tony Sepp. Selfies going on there as the Astros go to the bullpen one more time with the score 2-1 Dodgers.
Break down all the action from today's game, plus interviews from the clubhouse and much, much more on the Astros postgame show presented by Houston Methodist. Wow, what a selfie. That's impressive. These kids are taking them really young, too. A couple of guys who know about selfies are the guys in the booth. Brownie and Ash. You guys take some great selfies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but we do that when we're trying to take a photo of somebody else.
Yeah. Vince Velasquez comes in. He was recalled Thursday from Corpus Christi in 9 games, 7 starts with the Astros, 1-1 with a 3.67 ERA. He went to Corpus to get some rest for his arm and to make the conversion to relief work. In 4 games there this month, a 4.35 ERA. And he faces Yasiel Puig. Puig is 2 for 3. 2 men on, 1 out. 2-1 Dodgers.
Okay for me to say, love this arm and the impact it's likely to have on this Astros club this year and for years to come.
In for a strike. Velasquez has had to change some routines, of course, from starting to relieving. The amount of time he's had to get ready for an appearance a whole lot shorter than it was starting, but also the way in which he comes into a game and approaches the first hitter, not wanting to just throw first pitch fastballs every time in the games. There's a mitt thrown out of the game by Castro, and he got a replacement mitt.
Need my 95+ glove.
Yeah, he broke the glove. The Blue Jays have come back on the Angels. They trailed 5-1 after 1. They're now leading 6-5 in the top of the 3rd. Garrett Richards has given back all that lead. One and 1 to Puig with Carl Crawford on deck. So there it is now, up to date, 6-5 Blue Jays. R.A. Dickey gave up 5 in the first. He's still in there.
Those are some angry bats that the Blue Jays have.
2 balls and a strike. Well, they're angry birds then, right?
Apparently so. But you can't play games with them.
Puig has hit 197 with men in scoring position this year. Gomez plays him about 8 steps toward right center field. Popped up. Out of play though.
See where Josh Donaldson had 6 RBIs yesterday?
Yes. He has his 34th double today and making a strong MVP bid.
Mike Trout has apparently heard about that bid and started swinging the bat again. He's been cold for a good long while. 2 for 2 today with a ribby.
Donaldson came into the day with 100 runs batted in to lead the American League by 11. Over Chris Davis of Baltimore. Foul back by Puig, still 2-2. Twins 3, Orioles 3, top of the 9th in Baltimore. Miguel Sano hit his 11th home run, a very exciting rookie third baseman. We'll be seeing him next weekend in Minnesota. And also Byron Buxton, who just drove in his first in the majors last night. Strike 3 call on Puig. Yasiel very slow to depart after the James Hoy call. And he's out of the game.
I don't even know if he said anything to get himself tossed.
I don't think so. He just flipped the bat down in disgust. And now Don Mattingly is out there to talk about things.
You know, there's a way umpires can find a guy for tossing the bat or a helmet or whatever without throwing him out of the game. Number 1, that's a good pitch. So where that sucker.
That's what he did. He flipped the bat down. Didn't look like he did say anything.
Well, I think the toss comes about now.
Now it's Carl Crawford batting. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts for Crawford. Out to center field. Gomez backing. 2 big outs for Vince Velasquez in the bottom of the 9th inning. Correa, Valbuena, and Gaddis. 2-1 Dodgers. Here's Jake Marisnick with a triple Altuve then singled him home in the 9th inning to win it 6-5 in the final at bat for the Astros, coming from behind. That's what they've been doing all homestand. Late inning heroics. 2 nights later, game-winning homer in the 10th. Marwin Gonzalez, 3-2 win over Tampa Bay. And the next night, again Tampa Bay. There's a 13th inning Carlos Correa single to win it. And then Friday night, a no-hitter by Mike Fiers and a 3-0 win.
Let's go ahead and work out some more heroics here this afternoon.
Now the Dodgers with 18 blown saves, tied for 4th most, go with their closer, Kenley Jansen.
Got a nice ERA at 2.48 and a great whip at 0.70. 165 opponents batting average against. That's a tough assignment.
Correa leads it off. He has the only RBI for Houston with an infield hit off Kershaw's leg. He's 1 for 3. Ball 1 for Jansen. Jansen, as you may have noted on that graphic, is not the problem with the blown saves. He has 1. He's 24 for 25. Only 4 walks in 32 innings. It's 1-1. It's the setup men who have done the save blowing most of the time this year. Kershaw in 8 innings allowed 7 hits, 1 run, no walks, 10 strikeouts. He's in line for win number 11. 111 pitches, 74 strikes. New outfield alignment for the Dodgers. Foul back, 1-2. Jock Peterson is in the game in center field. He's over in right center on Correa. Kike Hernandez has moved to left field. Scott Van Slyke is there in right field with Puig being ejected. Up and into Correa. 2-2 as Jansen throws his first pitches of this series.
I was looking for a lot more in terms of velocity. 90, 91, 92. With those numbers would indicate somebody that is awfully tough to get to.
Correa singles to right field. Another 2-strike opposite field delivery for Carlos Correa.
The walk-off to me looked like he was just shooting to a spot that was left open defensively. This one, I think, was just reaction to where the pitch was. I'm not sure he has this in mind, but that pitch is up there, presents itself, and he does the right thing.
Luis Valbuena bats for the first time.
He does some things really well.
Valbuena came in at third base for the injured Jed Lowry. Benson's looking out to center field. Valbuena leads the club with 22 homers. He has 44 runs batted in and a .209 average. Evan Gattis is on deck. Ball 1 is not close.
There has only been 1 stolen base attempt against Jansen on the season. And that could be in part because he hasn't had many base runners against him. But that's something to consider with Correa out there.
Jansen missed 6 weeks with an injury, foot surgery, in mid-February. The Dodgers started the season without him. He's 27 years old, listed at 6'6", 257. From Curacao. Last year he had 44 saves and 49 opportunities for the Dodgers. One.
Any doubts about what the intention of that swing was?
You're going to see power on power here. Jansen has had 4 years as the full-time Dodger closer now. Swung underneath it. Jansen's second on the all-time Dodgers save list with 130. And he turns and mechanically throws to first. Back in 2010, Kenley Jansen got his first major league win right here at Minute Maid Park. It's 2-1, and when the Astros were in the National League in 2011, he got a blown save here on a game winner by Hunter Pence. After a 2-run double by Michael Bourne, he blew a 3-1 lead in the 9th inning. But he was not their full-time closer that season. Peterson is way over in right center field. Now he's edging his way back towards center a couple of steps, and another throw goes to first. Correa has 10 steals in 13 tries. Be right with what you said about the situation with not many base runners on Jansen. His whip is 0.70. Gets a strike on Valbuena. 2-2.
Don't mind a swing, maybe 2 at trying to drive the baseball. Now it's time to hit.
The Astros have 33 come from behind wins. Still underneath that fastball. 13 wins in their final at bat. Correa takes off, and it's fouled. He had a good jump. Now Toronto is in front of the Angels 8-5 in the top of the 4th inning. Dodgers are 59-3 when they lead after 8 innings. Correa draws another throw. Garrett Richards still in that game for the Angels, allowing 8 runs, 6 of them earned in 3 2/3 so far. Jose Bautista hit his 29th homer, and Encarnacion his 24th. Fouled away. The Mets are in front of Colorado 4-0. They're in the top of the 3rd inning. Jose Altuve has had 3 hits in this game. The Astros have totaled 8. The Dodgers have 9. Struck him out. 1 out. Strikeout number 11 for Dodger pitching.
I don't know if there's something deceptive about that heater, but that's, again, in that 90 to 92 range. Not what you call blow away.
Evan Gattis doubled in the 7th. He's 1 for 3. Runner going. The throw from Ellis drifts, and he's safe. A stolen base for Correa. Number 11.
been a team that's lived by the long ball, but though the numbers have struggled recently, that running game can be a big part of things.
.94 steals for the Astros, who lead the American League. Now Jansen will get a visit from his battery mate, Ellis. Chase Utley coming in.
Ellis from the side view there doesn't look all that unlike Mike Scioscia years ago.
No, it's true. Rick Honeycutt has been the Dodgers pitching coach since '06. In that period of time, they lead the majors in ERA, opponent's batting average, and strikeouts. A turn back towards second. And that might have been the subject of that conversation we just saw.
The turn move is turned into a move that pitchers seem to be able to get away with virtually any version of it.
A strike to Gaddis, evens the count at 1-1.
I'd like to still have that potentially angry Evan Gaddis at the plate that we saw in the 7th.
2:30 with runners in scoring position. And it's crunch time with Correa there at second. Oddly not too far from him at the base. In the air, Utley. 2 outs. And now Marwin Gonzalez will come to the plate, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Dodgers have the highest payroll in the majors, reported to be more than $300 million. The Astros payroll about $77 million. The Dodgers are paying more players who no longer play for them, more to them than the Astros' whole payroll. Colby Rasmus is out in the on-deck circle. Carter Dew up next. Line drive right field coming over. Van Slyke, that's in for a hit. That'll tie the ball game. And it's 2-2, and they do it again at crunch time. Amazing with these Astros in their final at bat. And it's Marwin Gonzalez who gets his 28th run batted in. Correa steals the base and he scores on it.
Wow. Marwin was having a rough one too, but it doesn't seem to matter. Nice pitch to handle. Good quick bat. That ball had a chance, a reasonable chance of slipping on by. Watch this barehanded grab. If that slips on by, you're a base hit away from walking off again.
Van Slyke overran it, but he really saved further damage by reaching back to that bare hand. Now Rasmus pinch hitting for Chris Carter. Pitch out, ball 1. Gonzalez with 3 steals and 6 tries, wasn't going anywhere. Oh, another blown save for the Dodgers, only the second by Jansen. Rasmus, a .229 hitter, has 17 homers, 44 runs batted in, 1 for 6 pinch hitting, and that one hit was a homer. The low throw is dug out there by Adrian Gonzalez. We have another dandy here at Minute Maid Park in a week of dandies. Marisnik on deck. In for a strike, and it's 1-1. Astros down to their final out. Got the tying hit from Marwin Gonzalez. Big swing, and it's 1-2.
Just another peek at what Marwin was able to do. No doubt about it, as this ball was hit, you got yourself a tie game. It's now the question about where does Marwin wind up. And he's easily at second, if not more, if that ball gets on by. Nice play by Van Slyke, as you were talking about, Brownie.
Another toss over to first. Great homestand for Marwin. The 10th inning walk-off to beat Tampa Bay Tuesday night, 3-2. That was his third hit of that game. Rasmus takes it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Astros have had 11 of their 33 come from behind wins since the All-Star break. Runner going, and he will make it without a throw. Ball 3 delivered to Rasmus. So the steal for Gonzalez does happen late in the count. It's his 4th of the year. Despite repeated throws to first base, he's able to get into second.
I could not be more surprised that the Dodgers seem to let this happen. Trying to catch strike 3 on a pitch that's really not close. And now a base hit can win it.
And the crowd would love that. Standing crowd at Minute Maid for the 3-2 to Colby. Fly ball popped up. Turner at third with the catch to send it to extra innings. Another bonus game on this homestand, filled with bonuses. It's 2-2 after 9. By Jack Link's Beef Jerky all season long. Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. In the last of the 9th inning, the Astros down to their final out. And they got it going with the leadoff batter, Carlos Correa. He stole second base. And now with 2 outs, it's Marwin Gonzalez delivering him. 2-2 after 9.
Brownie, you talked about it, 19 blown saves for the Dodgers, but really it's more about the Astros. And what I think we might be seeing is when you see a team that has kind of the magic year, there are a lot of those magic moments. And there are a lot of magic moments for this club lately.
Luke Gregerson in the game, 2-2 as we go to the 10th inning. It's A.J. Ellis. He's 1 for 3. Fisted, and he loops it to left field in front of Colby Rasmus. for a single. Colby just staying in this ball game after pinch hitting for Chris Carter with Marwin Gonzalez now playing first base. So there's a single to give Ellis his second hit of the game.
And the numbers on Luke Gregerson, 51st appearance on the year. He's allowed 10 less hits than innings pitched. 5 dingers on the year. Doesn't walk many, just 10 of them. 1 hit and no runs allowed over the last 6 appearances. So I'll make that 2 hits now as you extend 1 more game.
Kike Hernandez is 1 for 3. Valbuena in tight. He's showing bunt and taking high for ball 1. The number 9 hitter, Jimmy Rollins, on deck.
We used to always have the attitude that the breaking ball that was breaking downward was the easiest pitch to bunt. Now, I don't know that that's necessarily true, but the downward break says you can put it on the bottom of the bat for the bunt. So a lot of times you try to come up with the fastball.
Bunting, and it stays fair. Valbuena barehanding, big play. Oh, that could have been a bunt hit. But Valbuena barehands and gets him. It will be a sacrifice, but nonetheless, it could have been first and second, nobody out.
Was a heck of a play. With the bunt being expected, though, did it have to be this difficult? Don't know. It was a really good bunt. And maybe because it was on the right-hand side of Valbuena, it turns into that kind of play. But that required an awfully great play when you're expecting bunt.
Ellis at second. The infield shifts around, playing Rollins to pull. Rollins is 0 for 4 in this game. That's ball 1. Ellis is able to get a decent sized lead with the way the infielders are deployed. Rollins is 2 for 7 against Gregerson. 0 for 7 for the Dodgers with runners in scoring position. That'll get Ellis to third, but Altuve turns it into out number 2 with Utley coming up. The Dodgers have scored a first inning run on a sacrifice fly by Turner and a 5th inning run on a wild pitch. Chris Hatcher's warming up for Los Angeles. Utley, the batter, he doubled and went to third on a wild pitch. Then he scored that run in the first. He is 1 for 4. This is the 4th extra inning game in the 10 games of this homestand for the Astros. They are 7 and 6 in extra inning games this year. The Dodgers are 5 and 6. Gomez well over into left center field. Gregerson with ball 1. Turner's on deck. The Astros have Marisnick, Castro, and Altuve due up in the bottom of the 10th. Utley looks at ball 2. Vince Velasquez in 2/3 of an inning allowed no hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Tony Sepp 1/3 of an inning, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Chad Qualls had a 1-2-3-8 with a couple of punch outs. Good work by the Astros bullpen. Ground ball. Correa to Marwin Gonzalez. A scoreless 10th. No runs, a hit, a runner left at third base. Now the Astros have a shot in the bottom of the 10th with their 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up next.
At 2, Jake Marisnick will lead things off, looking to get something going for the Houston Astros. He has been feeling a little bit better at the plate lately. 2 nights ago, had a great game, 2 for 3. He had a 2-run bomb. It could have been a while, too. It was his first home run since June 17th, so good to see him take one out of the yard. Also had a double and a stolen base. Told me confidence comes with a game like that, and A.J. Hinch noticed that as well, putting him in the starting lineup yesterday and again today. And guys, this Astros club had to make a roster move, sitting down Preston Tucker. We've talked about that, but Jake Marisnick was definitely in the discussion of who to send down at that time. But with Jake swinging the bat like he has here in those last couple of days, I think it helped his cause. Plus, we all know the kind of defense that he plays in the outfield.
It is stellar. Thanks, Julia. We go to the bottom of the 10th inning now. Marisnick 0 for 3 as he comes up against pitcher number 3 for the Dodgers, Chris Hatcher. Kenley Jansen in 1 inning, allowed 2 hits, 1 run, had no walks, 1 strikeout. Marisnick will be followed by Castro and Altuve. Hatcher pitched Friday night, 1 hitless inning, and the Astros 3-0 win. He's 1-4 with a 5.40 ERA. That's ball 1.
Since coming off that DL in 7 games, pitching pretty well. 1.50 ERA in that span.
In the dirt, and it's 2-0 if Marisnick gets on with his 17 steals in 22 attempts. He's a threat to run.
Probably time to see a pitch right here.
Turner's in tight at third base. Hank Conger, the only position player left on the bench for A.J. Hinch. He's ripping it. It's 2-1.
Let's try to win it on this swing. And you can see nothing held back. Jake's speed, though, on the bases, should he reach, becomes really valuable.
2-2 now. Astros have not swept a 3-game series from the Dodgers here at home since 2005. They swept them in 2008 at Dodger Stadium in a 3-game set. Strike 3 call, 1 out.
Great location, great velocity. 96 right there on the edge. And I mean shaving it.
12 strikeout for Dodger pitching today. Dodgers are second in strikeouts in the National League, 4th in ERA. Jason Castro is 0 for 3. To Castro with Jose Altuve on deck. The Astros have had 6 walk-off hits, 5 since the All-Star break. Two 2-0 to Castro.
If Castro should reach here, there's really nothing to do in terms of speed other than utilize a pitcher, and that gets pretty dicey. You're trying to add speed on the bases.
To left field. Going back, Hernandez at the base of the wall. And that's going to win it! That's another game winner! The unbelievable final at bat. Astros continue to overwhelm their opponents. Excitement as Jason Castro with the opposite field blast, number 11, takes it home on a 7-3 homestand.
I don't want to pour water on it too soon, Brownie, but I think Don Mattingly and the Dodgers have asked that the umpires challenge this to see if this ball actually gets over the yellow line. So a celebration has to wait just a bit, and potentially the Astros could have a really soggy catcher.
Yeah.
Another four-seam fastball, nothing fancy. Good swing in that left field approach for Jason Castro that he employs so well. Get this ball over the yellow line. Yeah, I think that's going to be a dinger. Requires that other angle. Let's see. Fans are reaching out, but that's going to be a home run. Go ahead and celebrate.
Castro had a game-winning homer here against the Angels. That was the second of his career, and now as they wait for confirmation, Castro appears to have another one. If he does, it's the 101st home run at home by the Astros this year. And the 11th home run they've hit on this homestand. A homestand with 4 extra inning games. And just these incredible walk-offs. And it does get confirmation. The Astros win it, and they sweep the Dodgers in a 3-game series as Jason Castro gets his 3rd career walk-off. What an amazing trip through 10 games at Minute Maid Park, winning 7, losing 3, a no-hitter, and 4 extra inning games.
You know, you're not required to get any more than just getting it over the line. So Jason Castro doesn't waste anything here. But I'll tell you, Kike Hernandez thought that might be fan interference. Just enjoy it. It's another victory.
And for Carlos Gomez, who was thrown out trying to steal home, a jump for joy at Castro's game-winning homer after Marwin Gonzalez, with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, tied it with a single. Clutch hitting propels the Astros to another exciting win. 3-2 in the 10th.